from Artfish42. Today we are meeting our stained glass artist, Glenn Toussaint. And I just did it again, Toussaint. Glenn, you're looking like you're at work here. What's up?
Well, I just got out of work today, so they let me go. We had no patients. Well, we have a lot of patients, but now it's my time to have a day off. So it was a great day to have an interview.
It is, it is. So for you, some of you who have come into the shop who know Glenn, Glenn is over at one of the big hospitals here in Connecticut. I don't know if we could say which one, I don't know. Is that like, can we say?
Yeah, working at Yale.
You work at Yale. So, and Glenn's wife, Terry, if you saw her interview, she has been creating these amazing masks.
Great mask.
It's really a cool mask for all his colleagues there. And I know you're probably exhausted, so I really appreciate you coming on and doing this interview. So this is our segment for Artfish42, Coffee at the Fish. You have your coffee. I saw you have.
Yeah, cheers.
You see, so this is a little time to sit, have some coffee with our artists, get to know them better, see what they're doing, see if they're working on things while in quarantine. I know you're probably, you don't have a lot of time right now because you're working so much. So I really appreciate a couple things. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this. And I also really appreciate what you're doing. And I want you to make sure you're safe. And so let's talk a little bit about what you do. So Glenn is the CEO of Tingio Studios, which he does his stained glass. Now you met his wife, Terry, who is in charge of Tingio Natural. It's all under the umbrella of Tingio, right?
Correct, right.
So tell me first, how long have you been doing stained glass?
Wow, stained glass, I would say 1996. So yeah, about almost 25 years.
Wow, so you've really been doing a lot. And what drew you to it?
So what drew me to it was, well, when we were making, my friend was making a box, and she was getting frustrated, and I was watching what she was doing, and all you want to do, well, what I saw is you always want to improve. So if you see something doing wrong, so why don't you make it right? So it's like, well, why don't you do it like this? Why don't you do it like this? And then pretty soon is like I'm taking over, and then I'm doing, I call it the procedure for her. The procedure. It's not a procedure, but I'm doing the whatever, I'm doing her art piece for her. It's like, do it like this, do it like this. And then now she's getting upset. Okay. So next thing is I start teaching, and then a store said, hey, why don't you start teaching for us? And I never, did this before. It's like, all right, why not? So I started teaching, and so I'm always seeing things to improve and to make things sturdy and time efficient, because I like saving time, because if you're wasting your time, you could be doing a project for 6 hours when you actually only need 2 hours to do a project.
Right. So. And, I got to say, one of the things I noticed about your pieces and that really drew me to them is like your finishing work. Like, you'll see, lots of times you'll see stained glass and, where the solder joints is. I don't know if that's what you call them, but, where it's like there's this blob. And it's like, and I've noticed you are so, it's like it's meticulous, it's beautiful. And like when you have your decorative solder, your dots, it's like if you run your hand over it, it just feels so uniform. It's so beautiful.
So I like making my stained glass nice and smooth, like the solder seams. I like it to be nice and smooth, because if you see bumpy and lumpy, well, that's great, it's bumpy and lumpy, but there's also a thought process of why to see bumpy and lumpy. Well, just first start off with a smooth solder seam. Ooh, nice and smooth. It's easy to polish, easy to clean. And then I like putting dots incrementally. So we have 1 every millimeter or every 2 millimeters.
I can
Oh
show
boy.
this.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's how you- it's
So I
like,
like making little beads all the way
it
around.
is.
It's like, bedazzling it all around.
It is. And so like on this one, you have your dots, you have your, oops, that's over here. You have your dots, you have your little,
Handle, yeah.
like, what do you call it? Like a
Yeah, a
little,
little handle. Handle.
yeah. And then down here, the soldering is smooth, but you have like, if you look at it, it's like little, it's so perfect.
Yeah, so I put little textures. So
Yes.
I also do some decorative soldering. And so that's where I was saying like about the lumpy bumpies. Yeah, but you can make your lumpy bumpies have a pattern. So you could almost have like a rhythmic texture to it. So
Mhm.
if you think about how water flows, you could imagine you see a wave of water and it undulates. So now imagine freezing it in time. So basically that's what the lead is doing. As long as you can make the lead cool where you want it, you can now make these lumps and smooth and ribbon-like feels to it. So it's pretty cool.
It's I mean I've seen a lot of different stained glass and it's not just because you happen to be in Artfish42, but it's just because it's the truth. Your as you said, the rhythm of the decorative soldering is just stunning. It is. There's a pattern. There is a rhythm to it, which is nice. So wow. So and I know you have some pictures, so we're going to be going through some pictures of things. So at Artfish42, you have your pieces. You also do classes.
Yep.
You can
There's
always
quite a
see
few
like,
classes.
huh?
We have quite a few classes.
We have quite a few classes. I know, and it's like you only allow a certain amount of people in, so it's you truly get like almost one-on-one experience with you, and it's a whole day. It's not like here, this is all done, boom. You're learning depending on which class you're taking, you're learning about the glass, how to cut the glass. You're learning about the solders and the flux and the coppers. You're learning how to put it together, and you're really learning a lot of stained glass.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna I'm gonna pile all this information into you. I mean, we really want to make you the best stained glass artist that we can do. And even though I made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I've learned from them. But I'm going to tell you of my mistakes, so you can encounter them too. But
Right.
some of them are really painstaking that you don't want to encounter. So
Don't you
hopefully,
think that makes a good teacher? That makes a
hopefully
good teacher.
my experience will lend a hand. And once you're in there, you remember it quickly. Don't do that again, or do it again. I like it.
The tip of a soldering gun is hot.
It's hot. Don't touch it.
Don't touch
Like a
it.
stove. Cooking that food.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, we can make marshmallows. Um, let's see some of the pictures that you have.
Okay, let's go see. Let's share a screen here. Desktop.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Cool.
So here's some icons. So what I'll share with first is this is my little work table, and I'm just showing some different types of glass that we use. There you can see my soldering iron and my copper tape in the center, and one of my finished projects right on the bottom. It's a red and white box with a lot of beads loaded with beads. And then also to the left, there's a little candle vase. That's plain, but nothing hasn't been done to it. So, I mean, there's no wrong or there's no right. I mean, you can make it plain, you can make it crazy, however you want to make it. There's so many ways to do it. And then I have my gel and my copper patinas to the side and some cutting tools. So those are things that we'll be using, I'll be talking about during the class and how to use them.
Yeah. Let's see what's next.
So this could say? Oh, that. And here's one of the
Uh,
boxes. Oh, I love this box. You
I
know, it's a
love
little
this.
black box. It's nice to keep like for a man. It's like a
Absolutely.
4x6. You know, men love trains. I love trains. And you know, you can put your little knickknacks in there, whatever you
And
want.
it's a little bit of steampunk as well with
Yeah.
it, you know?
um,
And this is a beautiful glass. It's a nice opaque glass.
yep, it shines up really well. It has a little felt bottom, some
Mhm.
gears, and something to make it. All right, looks pretty good. Something different. But
Absolutely.
I also make wedding boxes. That's another one of my excitement things. What I
Now,
like to do is match the glass to the invitation. You can see there's a
mhm,
little red, a little indigo, some pinks in there. So why not
mhm.
some red, white, and blue and textured glass? And then it had
Beautiful.
this copper feel to it, so I put it copper. You know, I could leave it silver, I could leave it black, but the copper really stood out to me on
Right.
this one.
And you, I mean, you guys do a lot of these wedding boxes. I mean, they're beautiful. What I love is, you know, each one has its own personality. When the bride or whoever is giving it as a gift, we've had these out for a lot of gifts, brings in this invitation. You kind of have a really beautiful eye to match the glass and the invitation and really make it special. I've noticed that. And
Yeah, the designs also are all different. You know, when you meet the person, you know,
mhm,
you can also feel what they like. I mean, sometimes they like organization, or they like straight lines, a modern feel, a black and white.
mhm,
There's all different types, you know.
right. But we've also had these a lot with gifts, people giving it as gifts to the bride and groom,
Yeah,
which is, and it's a great memento box.
yeah, yeah. Well, we make it deep enough. Sometimes it can even be 6 inches deep, because if you think about it, you have the invitation, which is 5 by 7, add
Mhm.
2 inches on each side. So that makes it the box 7 by 9 and about 6 inches deep. You know, you could put your garter, you can put all the cards in there.
Mhm.
Um, you know, little things that, you know, that makes it special, like ribbons, you know, a flower, a dried flower.
Mhm.
So many things that
And
you,
you have them, I've had them in the shop with the poems on
mm,
them. You could do this with the baby's invitation, the baby announcement, and the baby, you know, all that stuff, and all those firsts go in there. You know, at the little box with the tooth and the hair, and you know,
yeah. Yeah, we even make them even smaller. If you think about this as a wedding invitation box, it can even make them smaller for, you know, your pets, or for little girls if they want their first tooth, as you said,
yeah.
you know,
Well,
things
you
that you
have
can
the
keep.
little where do we have? Oh, here it is. I love this because we have all these things here. But this sweet little box,
Hmm.
right? With and this one, so this one has a different decorative on the front, but and the little lobster, which you gotta love. I just love boxes though. I mean,
I know, isn't that so cool?
it's
Oh
just
my
like
God.
you know, you love it. And these are great should somebody be thinking about proposing.
Hmm.
Because you have the things that go in for the rings.
Yep, we have, we can insert like a ring holder in there.
Yeah. So that is like so cool. I mean, there's really, this is where you start letting your imagination go. I love it. I'm sorry, and I stopped you
Oh
from.
no, that's wonderful. That's what we like to do. I mean, well, I mean, as you held that up with the lobster, I mean, you know, you think about things that are seaworthy. Well, if you have something that you know that you want to be made, like, all right, do you have anything with babies? Do you have anything with golfing, baseball,
Mhm.
any, you know, any subjects, aliens, you know, sea creatures, like I'm just going to show you this really quick. I have
Yeah.
like this octopus, you know,
Oh, yes. I
used
love
a
this.
little octopus. That was pretty cool. And I used black patina on it. And then
Hmm.
after that, I really polished it really well and let the brightness of the silvers come out of the ribbed textures. And also above it, you could see the line of solder. I made watery waves with that one.
Oh, yeah, yep, above it.
But neat stuff.
That is great. And so I had held this up because you do the business card holders. So this one, I don't know if you can see, is the lobster with the sand dollar.
Yep.
But you also have them, like if you know a contractor, right? You have the hammer, the saws, and you have a bunch of these for different industries as well, right? You have the
Yep.
hairdressers, you have the tragedy comedy for actors. These are, I mean, it's
A lot of subjects.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
really do so much. And as you said, golfing and baseball and all.
Well, also depends. Also the shape of the card, like some cards are lengthwise or upright, they're all different shapes. Well, if you know what your size of the card is, we could even design it to the way that you need it. They're all custom cut card holders.
Mhm. And that's what I love. You are able to do a lot of custom within, I mean,
Within reason.
you do some, wait a minute. I was gonna say, I stopped myself there because we've seen you do some really wild things too.
Oh yeah, I mean, it can get really wild. I mean, so, if you have a place to hold 3 card holders, well, think about a box. So we have the regular box, which is just one level, one container, and that's it. Well, what happens if you started adding drawers and then lids and then pull out drawers and put gems? You could trick out a box really well. So, but this is what I mean.
Do
Let
you
me
have some?
let me show you one of some of the things that we built before.
Yeah.
And this one is a
Mm,
nice purple box with 3 tiers, and it had the little gems on there for pull-out drawers,
yeah.
and then it's padded in the back. So if you push the drawer back into the box, it won't shatter because there's also padding inside, so you won't break the glass.
Mm-hmm.
You have a top loader and 2 bottom ones. The bottom one is just a single compartment, so that could hold a large piece of jewelry, while the second drawer has compartments already cut into it.
Right, right. Beautiful.
That
That was a stunning piece.
That's
That
a
was
fun
a really
one to make.
stunning piece.
That was a fun one to
Oh,
make.
all right. Let's
But-
do some other things. Now I'm interested to see what else you got on there.
Oh, you do? All right. So we also we were making a kaleidoscope. That was a fun one.
I remember
I love
Yes.
kaleidoscopes. So what's neat about kaleidoscopes is just to see how things move. Like,
that.
so
Uh-huh.
what we're looking at now, we're just looking down
Ah,
and peering through the kaleidoscope, just seeing how the well, how it
Yeah.
spins. You just spin it, and also again the same thing. You could put any type of decoration that you want in the inside that you would like reflected. Maybe words, or I never tried words, but you never know. You could have anything that you want to put in there.
right. And you could do any color scheme, you know.
Oh, I love the blues and the reds.
I love the blues.
You
That is so cool.
know.
So cool. Oh my gosh. Excellent.
Okay, you can imagine those classes. So the classes, they're really fun. I really want to give so much information, but sometimes, I mean, ideas just come and you just want to go there, I want to go here. But we'll start with a basic,
Mhm.
in a class. I mean, some people just approach me. It's like, all right, I have this thing I want to make. It's like, all right, let's design it and see what we
Yeah.
can do. So I'll put my 2 cents in, and then we'll see. I mean, you can never say no, because there's somebody out there that can, and we can do it too. So
Absolutely.
if we could do it, anybody can do it.
And don't you have some pictures from your classrooms? The
Oh,
class?
sure. Let's go see what we have here.
We'll just see.
Yeah, so one of the classrooms. So, I set it up nicely. So I put a whole bunch of different types of glass
Mhm.
out there, so you can actually choose what colors you want to make for your project. I don't know, I just bring a whole bunch. But
Yeah.
for this class, we're just going to design a simple ornament. And so the students would select the colors that they want, and then I'll explain how to cut the glass. And we have some safety material stuff to put on, like an apron, some gloves, and also goggles that we could provide. You know, you can see on the table, there's also rulers and some other pliers and equipment to use. Let's go see what here we have next. So for this one, you know, we're designing what we're going to do for a box and for a lid. So it's nice. As you can see, like Robin, you know, she wants to use orange and beige, while Angela wants to use white and light blue, and Ellen, oh, I love Ellen. She loves to use all different colors, but you can see she has black, she got the gray, she has green, you know, a lot of cool colors.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's
just
they
come up with a design. But look at the designs. You see, each design is actually different. You know, because that's the way they want it to look like. Yeah, that's fine.
right.
We can do it. So that's what's nice about these classes. Like anything goes. I mean, whatever they want to make. So then, you know, I assist everyone in just creating the projects that they like to make. They are, you know, cutting some glass. I let them practice first on clear glass because you know, if we're gonna use the real stuff and they mess up, I'd rather mess up on the clear glass where they can actually see the mistakes that they make.
Right.
And after that, they end up with a nice smile on their face with their happy project.
Oh, nice.
I got flowers on my head. And but who's wearing a wreath?
Who's wearing that wreath?
But
That had to be around Fairy Frolic time.
But for this one, this class, they made some hanging ornaments. And again, you can see the two different colors, you know, two different styles. So it's pretty cool. I really enjoy, you know, making this stuff with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's and they always enjoy it. And I mean, that's what I love, that you always come out with a really cool project after you finish your class, you know. So, which is really cool. So you can do custom. So that's the cool thing, is that your work is beautiful. You can do custom work for somebody. If someone has an idea, they can work with you on, you know, their vision. You know, the things you have created are just truly beautiful pieces of art. You have wall hangings with that you can put, you know, all your necklaces in. You have done pendants, and now the pendants that you do are all lead-free solder.
Yep, lead-free solder.
So that you can wear them against your skin. The Kaleidoscope is gorgeous.
Yeah. So now I'm also I'm making some platforms for Terry for her pyramids. So that's a new thing too. So I also started making some what are those called? Napkin holders. You know, the napkin holders are pretty nice too.
Yes.
And so they're really miniaturized. If you just take a box and remove the bottom, now you have like a little donut hole, and then you just put the napkin right through.
And they're beautiful because a lot of them you have like those same embellishments on. So you've had some with like fireflies or dragonflies. You've had some with the crabs or the lobsters, or, you know, you have them with fairies. They're really gorgeous. And, you know, it's like, it kind of brings an elegance. And it's so funny because Terry will say, oh, I use them with paper towels.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you don't have to be intimidated,
anything.
Right? You don't have to be intimidated by any of this.
Yeah, you don't have to wait. Why wait for a special occasion? Use them every day. Use them every day, they'll be happy.
And if this time confined doesn't teach you that, like to, you know what, live each day. Use the good china.
Yeah, remove that plastic off that sofa.
Use all this stuff. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Glenn.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you coming and talking to us. And once we can all see each other face to face, we will, you know, people can come in and
oh, I know. I haven't had any classes because work has been keeping me busy.
Well, we can't be next to each other anyway, right?
Oh, no, definitely.
Well, and the cool thing is that, I mean, your classes anyway, you don't allow more than what, 4 people in them or something like that. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
1 to 4 people. It
yeah, you're
also
getting,
depends on on their expertise. You know, if you have an expert and they've already done the simple stuff, you know, they don't want to be there for that. Well, you know, we can have a separate class, or you could join in. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
We'll work it out.
you have done one-on-ones with people.
Yep, we've done 1-on-1 and 4-on-1. Tag
You have
team
it all.
champion. But
Yeah.
right now, I mean, there's lots of good stuff. I mean, now I'm starting to create and use different materials for the stained glass, because now before I used to use the flat sheets of glass, but now I'm using more objects like stone, shells,
Mhm.
double layered glass.
You've used agates.
Yep, agates. So,
It's
you know,
beautiful.
the next things that I'm looking forward to is you know, going multi-dimensional materials.
So we're going to see some really cool things from you.
Yeah, and things that are shiny, reflective. Yeah,
You know,
those
we
things
love
are nice.
shiny.
You know, shiny and
Yes,
blinky makes people look. You know, so
I love it.
you know, want to see what I
Right.
made? Want to see what I made on the weekend? This weekend.
Sure.
So this weekend I just cranked out a little easy one. It's this one's just a little
Ooh,
beveled, but you can see the glass is kind of built up, double thickness. You know, simple, just some simple beads on top, on the sides. I
mm-hmm.
use some black patina just for texture. So,
Nice.
you know,
Oh,
it's
that's
an easy
beautiful.
one, but you know, but there are going to be lots more in the way.
Good. Well, we look forward to seeing all your new creations. And we will be having some of your pieces up on our Artfish42 e-commerce, which will be going live hopefully beginning of May. So at artfish42.com. So you'll see some of Glenn Twasson's beautiful pieces. And Glenn, can't wait to see you in person again.
All right, thanks, Meg, for all your time. Keep up the hard
Absolutely.
work.
Thank you. Stay safe. And thank you so much for what you're doing, staying at the hospital.
All right, thank you.
Right? Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.